Space, the final frontier.
Hello everyone, Vex here, and welcome to another thingy I'm doing. Today we're going to be playing some KSP. I plan on this being a series that I'm going to continue out. I got my hands on this game from a buddy of mine and I was interested in trying it out. Turns out I fucking love it. It's amazing. Um, so yeah, we're going to be doing a series on this. Hopefully I learned some stuff from me messing around with it and I am not that big of a noob. So I'm just going to hop in here, create a totally new game. Nursa. We're Nursa. I'm not at the point where I want to do a career thing yet, so let's start off with a sandbox. First, let's pick us a flag here. I'm going to pick this one because movies and shit. If you guys have seen this movie, then you're a monster. A monster. Difficulty, we're going to put it moderate difficulty. I'm not that bad at the game. And start. So when we first hop in, we get this. This is our space center. Of course, this is on the planet Kerbin, which is an Earth-like planet. If we go over here, we can see that there are many more planets other than Kerbin. If we zoom out here, Kerbin has two moons. We have Minmus and we have the Mun. Our goal for this is going to be to travel to one of these outer planets, which is going to take some hefty science. What I really want to go to is Eve, which is an almost Earth-like planet. It's basically kind of like Titan, the moon of. It's like one of the moons of Jupiter, Titan. It has land, it has oceans. It's purple. Titan isn't purple, but this planet's purple, and it's basically it's a planet that isn't habitable by any means necessary, but it's still a planet I'd want to live on. So we're gonna get to that, and let's start off by making a space station with fuel in order for us to be able to travel such long distances. Alright, basic gist of the game is you have to make your own rockets. You have to make your own assemblies of rockets. You normally start off by adding a pod to your rocket, and we're gonna start this off by making a rocket, which is yeah. So I'm just gonna fast forward through this. Yeah, I'm gonna make something. Yo. All right. So after hours of funneling around, we have our base space station. This is a three-man space station, crew of three. One pilot, one engineer, one scientist, and they will all be working together to keep this thing up and running. It's equipped with solar panels and transmission systems, transmission equipment, you know, like radio towers, yada yada, not radio towers. It has these things, communitrons, which can send signals into the deep abyss of space, and with these, and well, pretty much infinite power, it should be able to be powered up for a good long while up there, as long as we keep it in a stable orbit. So, this thing alone cannot go into orbit. We're gonna have to make, we're gonna have to have rockets down here to put this thing into orbit. But once it is into orbit, we should have a jolly time, a good jolly time, being able to communicate with other spacecraft we have in other missions. So this is really a good base to start off with in the series. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and we have our rocket. This is mainly composed of two stages. Mainly. Of course, there's more than that, but to start off, we have these solid fuel boosters, which should help us get off of the ground. Not so much out of the atmosphere, because the fuel in these burns off really quick. Once the fuel is burned out of these are no longer usable, and they just add on more mass. So, along with these, we have some radial decouplers. Once we use up all of these, we shall, you know, let them go. Hopefully no one will be down there looking up, getting hit by one of these in the face. That would hurt a lot, especially if it's that high up. Other than that, we should still have a bit more fuel left over in our main engine, right here, the Rhino, which should help us get out of the atmosphere. Now, up here we have a mainsail, which is what we're going to be using to get out of the initial orbital phase, and this is what we're going to be using to get us into orbit. So, as soon as we break atmosphere, we're going to break these off and use this for the rest of the way. Once we're there, if we run out of fuel in this one, we still have 5 engines and a little bit of fuel, which should help us out in case we do run out of fuel in all of these. So the only thing left to do is to exit from here, go into the launch site, and pick out our crew members. So, we're going to take Hermes 1. Not going to use Jebediah because he's a good pilot. Take you as our main pilot. In the empty seat, we're going to take an engineer and scientists. We didn't recruit any scientists. Okay then. I'll take another engineer, because fuck it, why not? Mission flag, Lazarus 4, as always. Alright. Yep. Everything's set. The only thing we have to do is launch this thing into space. Okay, so a couple more things we gotta do here. Just take all of these, shove them here. What do you decouple? You decouple those. That. You're gone. Goodbye. We're on this main engine for a while. You're gone. Mainsail. You're gone, and we have orbit. Alright. Let's hope that this works, because if not, you can laugh at me and shit. Alright, 3, 2, wait, no. Wait. Wait a minute. I almost done goofed. See, we have to have the engines fire first, and then this goes. But I'll be cool and do this so that the boosters launch as soon as these go off, and then whatever. So don't waste the boosters. We're set. Let's get this started. So main engine ignition. Oh, we already see a problem, but we are off. Let's turn SAS on. Let's hope these solid fuel boosters finish off their last bit of juice here, and we should be clear these things. They are, however, sticking to the aircraft, which is not what we want. That's bad. I should Alright. So. Next engine. And ignition. We do not have that much fuel in this, do we? Yeah, that's bad. That is really bad. Let's see if this thing can get us into pre-orbital phase. Burn that way. Alright, that's better, I guess. However, we are running out of fuel. We are running out of it fast. Let's try these. Fuck. This is not good. In any terms whatsoever, this is not good. Alright. So, we can get a stable orbit out of this. Question that looks pretty good. However, that is not... Alright, we can fix that. It's fine. Let's see if we can actually make it to orbit first. Fast forward here till we get to the maneuver node. Alright, 8 seconds. Actually, I'll start it now, because fuck it. Let's hope we don't use that much fuel in this, because if so, we're only going to rely on RCS to get us halfway there. So that's not what we want at all. Okay, so this might just work. I planned on getting out here anyway. However, the fuel was not supposed to burn out so quickly. Whatsoever. Let's see if we make it to orbit. Let us see. It looks like we might just make it to the point where we'll live. However, I might just restart it if it gets anywhere more than what I want. Alright, that looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks like a nice stable orbit. However, it is a bit tilted. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward for you guys real quick so you guys can see the orbit. It moves along the the x-axis of the planet. However, we do not want that. We have a little bit of fuel left to burn. However, I wanted to keep that fuel. This thing is gonna be in orbit anyway. I could just send a shuttle. Why are you on? Why is this light on? Can I turn that off? Lights. Lights. Alright, there we go. Yeah, this thing has lights on it just for docking purposes, because if I end up rendezvousing with this craft on the dark side of the moon, I don't want to, or the dark side of Kerbin, I don't want to just, you know, have to wait till we get on the other side. So, lights help a lot. What we're going to do now is try to basically fix our orbit. Okay, so now that we have exhausted through most of the fuel in the space station, or, sorry, should I say all of the fuel in the space station, we are in a good linear orbit, which should hold for a while. Other forces such as solar flares, wind resistance, not wind resistance, sorry, atmospheric pressure and stuff. This is pretty far away from the atmosphere, so we shouldn't have any real problems with that. This could probably stay a good, I want to say 200, 300 something years before anything really happens to throw it off orbit, so we should be fine for the case of transmissions. So the only thing left to do is to extend the solar panels so that we are constantly producing energy and electricity on the solar, on the space station, and this will always refill up this battery right here that has electric charge. With the electric charge, we can turn on the lights like so. We can deploy shields, or deploy this shield right here, which opens up a docking port that we can dock other craft onto this space station here, which is what I plan on doing. Maybe in this episode, maybe in another one. We're about to find out. And of course, we can preview what it looks like to be on board the space station inside the space, or from the view of our Kerbals, who are currently in the space station. Of course, me moving around like this does not alter the orbit whatsoever. So yeah, that's pretty good. We could switch to the people who are in the lander can, or what is the base of the space station. These guys got a pretty good view as well. In fact, here, let me. What are you doing right now? You're just sitting there. All right, let's EVA you. Or no. More importantly, let's quick save before we do that, because people dying, not fun, of course. Any under any terms, it is not fun. Alright, so EVA. I just wanted to test out the ladders on the craft before we, So if I remember correctly, space is to let go, and now you're free falling in space unless you got a jetpack, then you'll be fine. So this guy could just go around the space station like this, work on it maybe, if it is requiring repairs. This guy should be in the same orbit as the space station, so it should not affect him falling down to the atmosphere or anything like that. Now let's see if we can grab back on here. That is what I want to do. Of course, it's really difficult trying to... Let's go back up. Back up. There we go. Alright, come on. You know you want to do it. Come on. Come on. A little higher. Grab on. There we go. So now, can you get up to here? And, ooh, that's not how you... Alright. B to board. Alright, we can grab this one and board this one. There we go. So, that was a little experiment I had to do. See if the ladders on the side worked. For the terms of having this guy, do his thing, EVA. So, Hermes 1 is up and operational. What we gotta do now is just extend out the communications array that we have on here. If you could let me kinda... Come on now. I'm sure there's a hotkey for this, but I'm too lazy to figure it out. I kinda just right click on everything. Alright, let's turn around. Just turn the space station around so that I can alter you. Alright, extend you. There we go. We got our short range out. This is the from here to Earth, basically. Orbit to surface. Now we got our long range, which should be from this craft to other crafts. We pick it up on here, transmit it through here down to Earth, which should be the Space Center, and we have this as well, which lets us pick up signals from the space station coming directly to us. This is incoming, this is outgoing, which should work. I haven't tested out the mod yet, but this is the making of our space trek, or Star Trek. What's a copyright? I don't know what that is. My last thing I want to do, or I want to try, is to get a space shuttle up here and try to dock it, pick some people up that should not be here. All we need in here really is our two engineers that keep this thing up and running, and we're gonna take the pilot with us down so they could do other missions while these engineers are up here. So let's get on that. Alrighty then. So as a shuttle, I'm gonna be using this lander from the Interstellar mod because I'm too lazy to make a new craft to say the least. So we're going to be taking off of this, and this should be really fuel efficient, so we should have enough fuel to get back to Kerbin. I was going to say Earth, but we're not on Earth, so... Yeah, this mod is a little overpowered. Look at that fuel efficiency. Mainly because these are supposed to be nuclear engines, but we'll talk about that later, because that's part of the movie and not part of KSP, even though there is a nuclear engine in KSP. I'm going to go ahead and spin this thing to face the horizon. And look at that, it's Milky Way galaxy. This is ever so slightly tilting, but I think we should be fine. So as we hit 1,000 meters above sea level, we're going to have to start our tilt. We shouldn't have done it. There's 10,000. Start the tilt, the atmospheric tilt. In fact, I'm going to have to look here real quick. See how far off the surface we're getting before we start the tilt up. No, yeah, we're going to need to climb some more. This is a relatively small craft. There we go, that's better. So I want that apoapsis to be right around here before we start actually smoothing out the orbit, so that I can meet up with Hermes. Let's try to speed this up a bit. See where we go. Yep, eventually we're getting higher and higher here. That's not what I wanted to do. No, we're fucked. Great. Yeah, our orbit got fucked from that little mistake I just made. Great. We could just fix it later. It's fine. Where's our thingy now? Alright, let's start the tilt now. That way. There she blows. Alright. The apoapsis can get a little farther ahead of that because in order for us to rendezvous, this is moving just slower than us currently. So, or no, we're moving. We're gonna be moving faster than that in a bit. So, when we're faster than that, we're gonna have to slow down into this orbit. So let's hold that there. Let him maneuver here. Get a nice and stable orbit up. Maybe less so on that side. Yeah. That's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough for what we're doing. A half-ass orbit right there. And it's gonna be 8 minutes till we get to the marker. So, I'm gonna speed that up, like always, because I'm a impatient motherfucker. And slow it down a bit more. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It's about 30 seconds. 29, alright, we'll keep it at 20. Yeah, we're adjusted for the burn. So as soon as that thing hits, we're gonna go ahead and burn now. Alright, as soon as this orbit makes itself a thing, I'm gonna press X, kill all the engine power, and try to get this orbit on the same horizon as this orbit. Alright, so we are gaining on Hermes and we're gaining fast. What I want to do here is I want to engage the... Well, first of all, let's turn on the SAS. I want to engage the... the landing auto... or the docking autopilot, should I say. Autopilot enabled. Override safe distance. 1 meters per second, drawdown. Autopilot enabled. Alright, here we go. Let's see it do its thing. And let's open this as well. Open shield. Okay. So, docking autopilot, we need to set a target again. Crap. I can't select the thing, it looks like, because we're too close. We're gonna have to do this manually. Fuck. Docking. Alright, here we go. That's too fast. That'd be awesome. Are you sure that I can't do this? There's the lander, there's Hermes 1. Set S target. Alright, there we go. And autopilot enabled. Both of the docking ports should now be opened. Don't hit it. Don't hit the space. What are you doing? Hey pal. What you doing? Pretty sure that's not how you dock. Alright, this is bad. Autopilot enable, autopilot disable. Alright, we're on a time constraint here, so I'm gonna have to do this nice and easy. Easy. Gentle. Fuck, I missed it. Come on, it's right there. You can do it. Come on, baby, you know you want to do it. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Woo! Finally! This looks very unstable, so I'm going to try to make this quick. Who am I taking? I'm taking you. Yes, I'm taking you. So, we're going to go ahead and EVA you. First, we're going to quick save, though. So we're going to go ahead, EVA. Alright, you. Everything here is off as well. That's great. Yeah, I'm gonna EVA you. And let go. Grab onto it, come on. And board. There we go. So now we have the pilot and the other pilot in the lander. We're gonna go ahead, disconnect, and bring these guys to the surface. So, detach. Alright, go ahead and docking mode again and try to get as far away from you guys as possible. Before we begin to deorbit. Alrighty then, so we're gonna go ahead and deorbit. The way you gotta deorbit is to point retrograde. Basically, it's the backwards of space talk. Just point your engines to the back, and you gotta kill off as much airspeed as physically possible before you hit the atmosphere. Basically, the slower you go, the better. You don't really need to be at a certain position for this to happen, but I want to be towards the daytime side of the planet, where the sun hits the planet, because when I deorbit, I want to see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and quick save before we do that, because quick saving is fun. And I'm gonna go ahead and start up burn. Maybe I should activate my engines before I start my burn. There we go. Whoops. And as you can see, the camera tilted there because we're slowly going lower and lower. Alright, so our velocity has been killed off here. We're going to be going pretty much in this trajectory. We're going to hit this side of the planet here, which is on the lighter side of the planet. So we should be hitting it during the daytime, which is what we want. So I'm going to fast forward until we're right about at the edge of the atmosphere, which is right there, and retrograde. I'll be hitting the atmosphere in a bit. In like right about now, we should hit the atmosphere. Yep, there it goes. It's the re-entry effects. We're gonna have to start burning backwards as fast as physically possible. Kill off as much airspeed as we can before we hit the lower part of the atmosphere. Thankfully, air drag is on our side when it comes to this, and this thing has a heat shield on it. Now we're flying. That's what I love about this thing, because it's not a pod. You don't go directly down. You can with it. Over there seems like a relatively safe landing site. I'm kind of tempted to land on the cliffside right there. That's dangerous, so I'm not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shut down this engine. So we are relying on the VTOL engines. Okay. And there we go. We have a landing. Alright. Go ahead and turn everything off. That was a successful landing. Yeah. I could take off again and go land at the KSP Space Center, or I could just hit recover vessel. And this will recover the spacecraft and both the pilots. Those guys will be ready for the next mission, and we should be set. Alright, thanks for watching this episode. Next episode, we should be able to send a probe out to either Duna or Eve, one of the two main planets I want to visit, and from there we can decide what planet we really want to inhabit. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.